Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. It's autumn, and it felt like the right time to talk about a design style that is romantic, cozy, moody, and magical. It's Whimsigoth. In this video, we'll cover the characteristics of this dramatic design, create a mood board using these elements, then head to a thrift store to see what kinds of whimsical Gothic treasures we can find. The term Whimsigoth was coined by Evan Collins, an architectural designer, in 2020, but it developed in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Whimsigoth is an aesthetic that blends the dark, mysterious Gothic style with the whimsical charm and fantasy of fairy tales and folklore, with a touch of enchantment and fantasy. Pop culture references include the book and later the movie Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman, Stevie Nicks, Florence Welch, and Tim Burton. Apartment Therapy said, Whimsigoth looks as if Wednesday Addams decided to have lunch in a Nancy Meyers kitchen. So pause your Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch and put on some Sarah Mclachlan because it's time to talk about the specific characteristics of the Whimsigoth style so that you can bring some or all of these elements into your home. In a Whimsigoth design, you'll often see dark, moody, and rich colors balanced with some lighter colors. The dark color palette favors blacks, grays, and navies, but also deep jewel tones like amethyst, sapphire, ruby, garnet, citron, and emerald. Rich dark colors like deep burgundy, forest green, and midnight blue are combined with lighter whimsical touches like gold, silver, or pastel accents. Dark woods like mahogany and walnut are commonly used in Whimsigoth houses to create a moody, Gothic feel. These woods make a space feel mysterious and dramatic while being cozy and warm. In addition to dark wood floors, more Whimsigoth flooring options include dark stone and parquet flooring. A fundamental principle of Whimsigoth is balance between dark Gothic and light whimsical elements. Where there are dark floors, there should be lighter colors in the painted walls or wallpapers, lighter furniture fabrics, or lighter curtain colors or drapery fabrics to keep the room from feeling too Gothic. Whimsigoth style mixes dark and sometimes edgy pieces with items that feel more magical, playful, and ethereal. To get the look, you'll want to incorporate vintage and antique pieces that have a bit of romance. Combine antique or antique-style furniture that has ornate details with more modern, quirky, whimsical pieces. For example, Victorian furniture pieces and well-worn Persian rugs are notably featured in Whimsigoth homes. Both of these items have a lot of detail in their design, with Victorian furniture looking very Gothic, heavy, and ornate. To create balance, we need to add a bit of whimsy by pairing it with items that are more unconventional, lighter, or brighter to keep the space feeling modern and playful. On the walls, you'll find vintage tapestries and mirrors with ornate frames. The frames for artwork will also be intricate in their shape or decorated with complex patterns. Inside the frames, you'll find botanical prints, imagery from the Victorian era, and dark, moody images. Lighting will be antique or vintage, whether a crystal chandelier or a lamp with an ornate or quirky design. Popular lamps include Tiffany-style lamps, which are a type of lamp consisting of colored glass. The glass in a Tiffany lamp looks like stained glass windows, which are also popular in Whimsigoth design. Additional light sources include candlelight, Candelabras add a bit of drama and romance, while iron is a popular material for candlestick holders. Lighting will be warm to create a cozy, luxurious space. While goth is in the word whimsigoth, the style does not go full Gothic, with black color-drenched rooms, nor does it double down on macabre elements like skulls and bones. There will be some of those elements, but it is equally as important to embrace the earthy, airy, and magical elements of this style. A home with this style will feature natural materials, including lots of plants and flowers, and references to nature in the form of botanical and animal imagery. While not everyone may have access to a greenhouse or a conservatory, your way of embracing nature could be to add lots of leafy, bushy plants like ferns, as well as fresh herbs and hanging dried herbs. The airy characteristic refers to incorporation of astrological and celestial elements like the sun, the moon, and the stars. You can bring these elements in through wall art, bedding, decorative objects, and more. For example, a sunburst mirror, fairy lights, or a star projector. Keep in mind, you do not have to be literal with these motifs. Instead, you can lean into more figurative imagery and colors. For example, incorporate the colors of the night sky by embracing navy blues and yellow golds, or bring in the colors of your birthstone or astrological signs colors. For me, I'd incorporate black, deep red, maroon, and brown, as well as jewel-toned reds and purples. Drop a comment below if you can guess my star sign. Last but not least, Whimsigoth embraces magical elements. Decor and artwork may feature mythical creatures like dragons, unicorns, and fairies. In addition to these fantastical creatures, this design style leans into supernatural and witchy elements, but it's on a spectrum. On one end, you have the Addams family, the Witches of Coven and the Craft, and on the other, you have Sabrina the Teenage Witch, with the Owens family somewhere in the middle. Regardless of where they fall on the scale of Gothic to whimsy, all of these enchanting characters would have apothecary jars and curiosity cabinets to hold their treasures. Textures common in a Whimsigoth home include velvet, brocade, and faux fur. These three fabrics envelop you and create a cozy, luxurious feeling. Velvet in particular is used in large ways, like in drapery and upholstered furniture, and small, as a throw pillow, throw blanket, or comforter. More airy fabrics include lace, knits, crochet, and silk. Lace is a good counterpart to velvet and can be used as a curtain, tablecloth, or runner. Perhaps the most whimsical material is fringe, which makes an appearance on a lampshade and curtains. This style frequently incorporates intricate patterns like damask, paisley, and florals. Combine these patterns with the textures previously mentioned, and you have a soft, elegant space that may be a little magical and dramatic. Whimsigoth is a style for maximalists. This aesthetic is all about embracing knickknacks, personal touches, and magical ambiance, like crystals, trinkets, unusual sculptures, and natural elements like dried flowers or branches. While traditional Gothic decor emphasizes macabre elements such as skulls, ravens, and Gothic architecture, Whimsigoth is more cozy and magical instead of all the dark and edgy. It's softer and less intense. Collections may feature books and butterflies rather than bones and bats. Things are meant to be seen, so they are displayed in curiosity cabinets and on open shelving. Apothecary jars hold everything from candy and cotton balls to collections of feathers and seashells. The kitchen is a place for making magic, containing and displaying a large selection of vintage dishware, spices and herbs, as well as cooking and baking tools. More is more with this aesthetic, so pile on the pillows, stuff and style your bookcases, layer carpets, blankets, and curtains. Overall, when designing in the Whimsigoth style, you're always trying to find that balance between dark, rich, and heavy, and bright, light, and fun. Before we head to the thrift store to find some Whimsigoth treasures, let's practice designing in the aesthetic. I started with a dark oak flooring. To counteract the dark floor, I went looking for a light whimsical wallpaper. I began my search with flowers, but so many of the affordable options looked too repetitive. I expanded my search and found this butterfly pattern wallpaper called Flight of the Monarchs. I felt that the butterflies added a playful element to the room, and because the pattern is small, it won't scream butterflies the way it would if the print was bigger. I've added a window because designing a room with no windows feels weird. For Whimsigoth, I embraced a Gothic style that I found on First Dibs. First Dibs is an online marketplace where you can buy antique and vintage luxury items like furniture, art, jewelry, and fashion. This window was thousands of dollars, which is not my budget, so I would DIY this look with a privacy film. You can buy window film that gives you that pretty Gothic trellis pattern on Amazon. I linked it in my storefront for you, but also for me, so that I can remember to work it into a project because I really like the look. Now let's dress the window. I'm going with a lace curtain to add softness and whimsy around that very Gothic window. Scallops help make the lace curtain more playful and youthful and less formal. I'm layering a chocolate-colored velvet curtain over the top of the lace curtains. I like the idea that the lace curtains allow the sun to come in, but keep prying eyes from peeping in. I can pull the velvet curtains closed at night or if I need to control the light during the day. With the velvet curtains, I'm adding a Whimsigoth fabric. I selected the deep brown to evoke nature, and both the color and the fabric keep it feeling cozy. If I went with black curtains, it might be too cold and too Gothic. In reality, I would probably hang these curtains with a double curtain rod. Have you seen those or used those before? They let you hang two curtains, one on top of the other. For our purposes on the mood board, I found this curtain rod with a cool pine cone finial and the matching curtain tie back. Before I bring in furniture, I want to add in this rug from Amazon. I selected this rug because I wanted something colorful that looked like an antique Persian rug, but without the price tag. This affordable option blends a traditional vintage and modern design. It is durable and it brings in some deep purple, moss green, burnt orange, and a hint of turquoise blue. I'm not sure how you feel about rugs in the dining room. I love the look of the rug in the dining room because they anchor the space and give the dining room more of a living room feel, a cozy feeling. I don't like the reality that food will end up smushed into the carpet. It makes me think of when my brother was a messy eater and threw his noodles on our dining room rug, and my parents made me clean it. Just the memory of trying to pick mushy food out of that rug makes me feel sick. The rug in this design has practically no pile, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mentioned curiosity cabinets several times when we covered the characteristics of the Whimsigoth aesthetic, so if you had curiosity cabinet on your Megan's Mood Board bingo card, go ahead and cross it off now. I found this pretty lady on Facebook Marketplace. Technically, she may be considered a sideboard, but I'll still give you curiosity cabinet because of the glass display case. I chose her because I wanted to add closed storage. a countertop service area, and a place to safely display treasures. I also knew I'd be adding other leggy furniture with a lot of detail. So I wanted to have a piece that was bottom heavy to create balance. Speaking of other furniture, let's bring in some small tables for the back wall. I selected these from Facebook Marketplace because of the ornate detail, marble top, and iron base. I'm also bringing in this tufted back, golden colored velvet couch because it just felt like it needed to be in a Whimsigoth design. I'm also placing a tulip style side table next to the sofa. I wanted to add some modern contemporary pieces to contrast all of the antiques and vintage that will be in the room, including this dining room set. Now, normally, I don't like sets of furniture, so I tried to find something else for these chairs. I found the chairs first, and I liked the color and the design of the seat. I looked for a different table, but I came back to the original table because when two people belong together, who am I to keep them apart? It's time to add some lighting to this room. If you had Tiffany lamp on your Megan's mood board bingo card, you were so close. But I went with these Tiffany sconces. I audibly gasped when I saw these because I thought they were stunning and yet kinda neutral, which is cool. Speaking of gasping and cool, I'm going to take a big whimsy swing with the overhead light fixture. I thought this bird's nest with light up eggs was the weirdest, prettiest, coolest, whimsiest chandelier, and I love that it brings nature into the room. A part of Whimsigoth design is having something quirky that sparks conversation, and I think that people will definitely sit around this table talking about this light. You may be talking about it right now. Let's add some layers to the dining room, starting with the dining room table. I'm placing this large tray in the middle of the table. I chose a brass tray with ornate details to bring a little more sparkle into the room. We have lighting, but we must have candles in a Whimsigoth design, so I'm adding these contemporary brown-colored glass candlestick holders. They are modern yet whimsical to juxtapose the antique or at the very least vintage dining room table. I'm corralling them with the tray for two reasons. The tray will help give the candles more substance and catch any wax that may drip. We need this adorable candle snuffer shaped like a tulip and this salt and pepper shaker set. Both are from Amazon, and I actually saw a similar salt and pepper set at a flea market about a month ago. I chose them because they are giving me enchantment and Alice in Wonderland tea party vibes. I'm bringing in more vintage and nature with some modern drinking glasses with old botanical prints on them. If you want to go more gothic and whimsical, you could add some colored glass goblets or wine glasses. I'm adding some throw pillows to the sofa, 2 velvet and 1 with a unicorn on it. This pillow is a nod to the medieval tapestry called The Unicorn Rests in the Garden. It is one of several unicorn tapestries that survived the medieval period in Europe. I believe I saw the real one in the Cloisters Museum in New York City, but this pillowcase is from Amazon. That might be the most 2024 sentence of all time, but if you are a fan of Gothic stuff, you're going to love something medieval in your house because Gothic art was a style of medieval art. Speaking of art, let's add some. I love some moody art, so I'm bringing that in. I also think it's important to layer something powerfully feminine. I've mentioned magic and witches several times in this video, so Whimsigoth has a strong female energy. Witches are powerful women, they are alchemists, they are healers, they are problem solvers, so feel free to embrace that energy in your design. Here is how I'm doing it. I'm adding some tassels to the curtain tiebacks, and I'm going to add some apothecary jars, lots of plants, and a water mister. There is a lot going on in this design, but that's kind of the point, because more is more and less is a bore if it's Whimsigoth. And just for fun, here's what the room looks like if we go a little more goth. All right, let's head to the thrift store and look for some treasures. We're headed into Island Thrift to look for some Whimsigoth decor. What? Are you ready to go? We're at Island Thrift and we're looking for, what are we looking for, Cokes? Whimsigoth. I like these though. These are not Whimsigoth, but I like them. They probably go together. But what happens when you don't want that one? This is pretty. It's pretty. All right, back on task. Whimsigoth. Whimsigoth. Okay. Keep your eyes out, Koki. Keep your eyes out. Open? What is the expression? Keep an eye out, right? An eye. What the hell? It's a weird expression, right? Whimsigoth. Maybe I bet we could do better than this, though. $6.99. Let's keep moving. I feel like this could be Whimsigoth. Let's see. Some COVID art, I guess.
Anyone, section 2 with a band-aid.
I had to remove the real-time audio here because Hungry Eyes from Dirty Dancing started playing over the loudspeaker. I recently told my aunt how one summer her daughter and I used to sneak into her house when everyone else was outside with the sole purpose of watching Dirty Dancing. We watched 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, then ran back outside and repeated that until we finished it. I definitely did not really understand a lot of what was going on, but I knew it was sexy and the scene at the end was amazing. Yes. Not for this project, but... Now the song Jack and Diane is playing. I'm going through the platters because this store always has a good selection, but I've yet to find one that I like enough to take home. After the platters, I went through the teapots and tea accessories. I was looking for something pretty and playful. You could leave it as is, or you can do a DIY to make it more goth. I've seen dainty feminine teacups and plates upcycled with dark, snarky, and fun words or expressions printed on them. I'll insert some examples of what I'm talking about. If you like the idea of this, I would encourage you to go to the thrift store to source teacups and plates. One of the largest sections at the thrift store is often coffee mugs and teacups, so you'll have lots of options. Keep an eye out for a set of ruby-colored goblets. I mentioned during the mood board that colored goblets could be a way of bringing Whimsigoth items into your home. The deep red color is in the Goth color palette and works really well during the fall and winter holidays, including Valentine's Day.
Look at how cute this is. I mean, just for like little girls, I guess. Yeah, it's a little too... It's not exactly right. Do these go together? I know. Okay, so that's the teapot that goes with the little teacups. Okay, 15 and 24, damn. You see that light fixture there? That could work for Whimsigoth. That one back there could work for Whimsigoth. It's like very much reading light in the library at a desk. That could work. Let's see if there's anything else.
Here are the items I pulled for Whimsigoth decor. I found a table runner in a black jacquard fabric with damask print, as well as an off-white colored lace tablecloth. We've got 3 vases, 2 that are dark and moody, while the other one is holding some flowers in the autumnal color palette, and the vase itself has an aged look. That little dark gray metal vase looks like a spittoon, but I wouldn't use it for that. A gold and white platter with matching teacup, a garnet-colored goblet, a metal teapot, an ornate metal picture frame, a cute little colorful dish, and some grapes to use as a bowl filler. I also picked up some faux greenery that makes me think of New Orleans, and I think there's some overlap between New Orleans design and Whimsigoth. I do have a little haul from the Whimsigoth trip. Not on theme, but you know, you can't help who you are. Even though I was thrifting for Whimsigoth, which I like, I mean, I'm still, I guess, a blue and white girl. I thrifted this, I don't remember, I think it was $3.99. Just gonna hang that on the wall, I think. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. And then I picked up these candles. I think they were
like $1.99, maybe $2.99. I picked them up because they were in pretty good shape and I'd never seen this color before. So I thought that was a cool color to add to my little collection. All right, should we style it? Let's style.
You may have caught a glimpse of my DIY ghost on the shelf below the Delft piece. If you want to see how I made them, check out my video linked here. It's a super easy and fun DIY that you can still do before Halloween. That's it for Whimsigoth Interior Design. What do you think? Are you going to bring any of these elements into your home? If you like thrifting, interior design, and DIY, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thanks for watching and for subscribing. See you next time. Bye!